Hey, what's going on, guys? Mario Man 252 here, and welcome to Your Eyes Do Not Deceive You, a video on my YouTube channel. Crazy! But no, yeah, we're making an actual video today, and what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be ranking and making a tier list of every level in Paper Mario Sticker Star. Now, this might seem really, really random, and if you're thinking like, wow, where did this come from? This is kind of out of the blue. Correct. Very observant. Good job. I have a couple reasons for this. The biggest one is Chugga Conroy just finished his Sticking It to Sticker Star series, which I've been thoroughly enjoying over the past couple of days. And secondly, I just want to make a video. And so basically, we're taking it all the way back to the origins of this channel, and I'm just making it about something that I am passionate about. So before we get into this list, I'd like to state my credentials when it comes to this game. I've beaten this game around 15 times. I've 100%ed it somewhere around 5 times probably, give or take a couple. So I'm pretty knowledgeable about most things when it comes to this game. Except for like locations of certain things, I guess, but in terms of like how things are and why things are and things like that, I'd say I know this game pretty well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go through every level in the game and I'm going to rank it on the tier list, either personal favorite, banger, solid, meh, bad, or burn it. And you guys can let me know if you have any differing opinions down below. It's just something I feel like doing. There are other Sticker Star related lists. There's one for stickers. There's one for bosses. There's a bunch more. So if you guys enjoy this, you want to see me rank other Sticker Star related stuff, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see different tier lists, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see other stuff entirely, feel free to let me know. All that is totally fine. But for this video, we're going to rank the levels. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So I'm obviously going to start with Decalburg. Now, Decalburg is a little bit difficult to rank because it's like kind of your main hub world almost. It's where you're probably going to be coming back to the most in the entire game. It's where the shop is. It's where the museum is. It's where Sling-A-Thing is. It's where the showgrounds, or not the showgrounds, the festival grounds are. And a lot of new stickers pop up there after you complete worlds. So probably somewhere you're going to spend a lot of time. And of course, you've got the opening sequence to the game, which also happens there. So where do I want to rank it? See, the thing about Decalburg is it kind of gets super boring and unoriginal after a while. Like, when you first, like, are, doing stuff in there and you're selling stickers and slinging things and stuff, it's like, all right, it's kind of, you got to get into a rhythm, but when you're in World 5 or 6 and you're still doing that same stuff, it's like, it's kind of, you've been doing this for a while now, so it's not particularly interesting anymore. It does have a couple things going for it. One is the museum, obviously. You can't do that anywhere else in the game. It's probably the most complete sticker shop in the game. I mean, you can't get shiny or flashy, or can you? Am I talking out of my rear? I might be. I apologize. But it's probably the most complete sticker shop in the game in terms of what you can buy there. Because eventually big shiny stickers do show up there. And it's really just like, as you unlock new stickers, especially during World 1, you start to see them show up in the Decalburg shop. So there are a few things going for it. The additional stickers in the festival grounds are also nice, because I believe there's a shiny leaf that shows up. There's some other shiny and flashy stickers that show up throughout the game. So, pretty good stickers. You get them for free. In terms of like overall design, I feel like it's really small. Like, I understand it is a 3DS game, but I feel like the town's just not big enough. Like, there's 3 houses. 4 if you want to count the museum. Like, it's not that big, And it's meant to be like a town, It's meant to be a full-on town. I mean, there's, I think, 26 Toads in the opening sequence. I could be totally wrong on that number. Feel free to let me know if I'm wrong about that. Um, but there's a lot of toads, and there's not a lot of houses and other stuff. So it's a little bit small. With that being said, it is a big part of the game. There's an HP up part you can get in there if you do all the rescuing toad missions. The museum is very original, and you don't find anything like that anywhere else in the game. You've got the Thing Cellar. That's another thing it's got going for it. You have the shortcut to the Ending Mansion in there as well. So I'm going to rank Decalburg in solid. Because I think it is. I think it's good but not amazing. I feel like if it had a bit more depth to it, this also could just be a fault of the game kind of having a lack of story. But I feel like you're in Decalburg a lot at the beginning, and then from there you just kind of pop in whenever you need something. So, not a ton of depth, but I'll rank it in solid because it does have a couple things that are unique to it and like nowhere else in the game. Now, moving on to World 1, we have Warm Fuzzy Plains. Now, I've already tried recording this video once. Didn't go particularly well, but what I said in that first recording was basically that Warm Fuzzy Plains does a great job as a tutorial level. And I'm going to say the exact same thing here. It does a great job doing what it's supposed to do as your first level in the game, right? Introducing you to Thing stickers, introducing you to things, introducing Bowser Jr., introducing, having a companion in the stacked toads, introducing mini bosses with the paper cone Goombas at the end. Although technically, I guess you already had that in Decalburg with the 3 Goomba fight, but in level mini bosses. Introducing comet pieces. The whole idea of collecting and using stickers and just kind of how the levels are going to play out in the game going forward. So for what it is, it does a very good job. The scenery and layout are kind of basic, kind of basic grassland, but typically World 1 in a Mario game is the grassland anyway, so I guess I can't fault it too hard. So I think what I'm going to do with Warm Fuzzy Plains is I'm going to put it above Decalburg in solid, because I think for what it's meant to be, it's a better level. For Decalburg being your main hub world, I feel like it could be better, it could be more. So I feel like Warm Fuzzy Plains does a better job of doing what it's supposed to do than Decalburg does. Anyway, Bouquet Gardens. This one's a little bit difficult to rank, because on one hand, you have the fan, very important. You end up using it in 1-4. It's one of the stickers that can majorly affect the Mega Sparkle Goomba later on in the world. Introduces fire flowers. You have the HP up part in the Toad's Garden. So there's a lot of big things in 1-2, right? The overall level design is a little bit odd, in my opinion. Especially when you have like one section of the level that essentially leads to the fan and nothing else. With that being said, I still think it's a decent enough level. Of course, you do have the Battle Spinner introduction and the 5 Goomba mini boss fight as well. The only reason you'd ever really return to Bouquet Gardens is to put down the secret door, to grab the fan again, or to get some additional fire flower stickers. But it's... Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the first Rescue Toad mission is in Bouquet Gardens as well. So you know what? I'm also going to put it in solid. I don't know where to put it in relation to Decalburg, though. I'll put it there. Because it does have some decent story elements in it with the Toad Garden and the Toad Rescue mission, and the fan is important later on. So I'll put it there. I think that's fair. Water's Edge Way. This one is also interesting, because there's kind of a lot of layers to this one. It's not a very big level in terms of like number of rooms. You've got your initial room, you've got the first exit room, you've got the sort of, I don't even know how you describe this room. When you take the path up or like I guess down, um, after the Kamek fight, and then you have the room to the left of that. So there's only really 4 rooms in this level. With that being said, I feel like they fit a lot into the rooms, so I got to give it credit for that. Water's Edge Way is there's some okay stickers, not on par with Bouquet Gardens, but okay. I think the mechanic of the comet piece being a scrap is very unique. I appreciate that mechanic. Of course, the introduction of Kamek, the first level with multiple exits, that's also very interesting. Um, the faucet sticker, which comes into use later on in the game, and overall some pretty decent stickers, and I think it's a fairly memorable level in the game. That's probably one of the things I'm going to be ranking these with kind of a lot of emphasis on, is how memorable is the level. And I feel like 1-3 is fairly memorable. So I'm going to put it at the top of solid. I don't know if I'd quite put it in banger, but it's probably low banger, high solid in my opinion. Because it's just one where like you see like the layout of a room, or you see like, you know, something from that level and you're like, yeah, you know, I remember this level. So I'm going to put it there, for now at least. And these rankings may change as I rank other things, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Hither Thither Hill. If we wanted to talk about 1-3 being small, this level is, I think, even smaller, at least in terms of the overworld section. There's 2 overworld rooms in this level. There's the initial part you walk in on with the windmill, and there's the part off to the side where the crying toad is. I think the underground section of this level is interesting. One problem I have with this level is I feel like it's too simple. Like, the password in the windmill I feel like is very simple. Of course, I do like that they had the basically added that if you do rescue the green toad, he kind of gives you the password. I think that's interesting. Of course, we never hear from that toad again, which I could, you know, that's one of the things Chuck Conrad brought up in the series, is just the lack of story in this entire game. It is your first instance of using a thing sticker in the overall world, though. Assuming you haven't used the scissors at Surfside Harbor at this point, which if it's your first playthrough, you would have no way of knowing that you had to do that. So I have to give it that. I do find it a little bit simple in terms of I want more from the inside of the windmill. You know, it's just some blocks that you get the code to very easily. It is really not that exciting. The Big Buzzy Beetle boss fight is interesting, in the nature of having to knock it upside down, and you can only attack it while it's upside down. That is interesting. The HP up part from that boss fight. And there's some pretty decent stickers in there as well. I'm pretty sure there's a shiny long jump. There's a flashy jump. I don't remember what's in the secret door. Is it the matches or the lighter or something? I don't remember. I could be totally wrong on both of those, to be honest. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad level. I just think it's a little bit bland. I'll still put it in solid, but I'll put it after... Oh, I don't know. I'm going to put it below Bouquet Gardens. Just because I feel like it's very small. It's kind of cramped. And for the first chance you have to use a thing sticker in the real world, I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, a little underwhelming, in my opinion. 1-5, Wamino Mountain. This level is probably going to go, I can tell you right now, it's probably going to go at either the top of solid or low banger. Because, I mean, just to rattle off a couple things. You have the first sticker shop that's not Decalburg. You have the whole getting the gate scrap sequence and the whole, you know, the musical number and everything with that. You have Lakitu and the segment where you're running through the Spinies with the Superstar. You have the kind of like level sort of changes what you can and can't access at the very end, like whether or not you can access the area with like the hidden blocks up on top of the ledge. Um, I don't know about like the overall gameplay of the level. I feel like I mean it's fine. It's still fairly linear. Um, yeah, I would probably put it purely for the musical number alone. It's gonna go at the top of solid. Uh, I'm realizing I've ranked every single World 1 level in solid so far, but I think they're all kind of like okay, but not much better. Um, for most of them. All right, Goomba Fortress. Hmm, this one's tricky. Um, Obviously, first boss fight, the trumpets in the level. Um, I think the overall layout is interesting. The hitting the block to change the direction of like the platforms. I think is interesting. Um, the sequence where you're kind of running through where the bombs are shooting out and landing, and you have to kind of run past them. It's it can be annoying at times. Like if there's a fence that you have to break and you can't jump over, and you're just waiting for a bomb to come over, and then you end up running into a battle or something. It can be kind of annoying. Um, I feel like this level is very empty. It like there's not a lot besides the bombs. There's not a lot of enemies in this level. There's not a lot going on, right? Like you've got the two Goombas at the beginning. I think there's a Goomba on the stairs. Um, as you make your way up to the boss like area, and there might be one or two other Goombas, and then of course there's the Paragoombas in like the fan segment. Um, so it's fairly empty. It's more of like a puzzle based level than like a enemy fighting level, which I feel like for a boss level, like look at something like Mario Galaxy, where you have a boss level that's just filled with like you got like I'm just thinking like Thwomps and Magic Koopas and um oh come on, it was right there. What happened? Dry Bones and things like that, right? You've got all these enemies scattered throughout the level in different sections, and of course comparing this game to Mario Galaxy isn't exactly fair, but I feel like the level is very empty for the most part, and I don't know. Something about that is just like if there's nothing in your level to do, then I feel like it's not that interesting. Um, so I'll probably rank it. I'm gonna put it between these two. I feel so bad that I've ranked everything in World 1 in one tier. Um, is there anything I'd move up or down so far? I think I'm gonna move Hither Thither Hill down to meh. Because as a level, I think it's mediocre. I think it has its moments, but as a level, I think it's mediocre. Honestly, I might move a lot of these down. I think I'm going to keep these three up here and move the rest down. And then I'll rearrange. Because, like, they're just, compared to the other ones, like, I feel like the other ones have a lot more personality to them. Whereas these are, like, meh. I mean, the only thing that Goomba Fortress kind of has going for it compared to these other two is the fact that there's a boss fight in it. It is a very quick boss fight, though. Like, if you fight it the way you're supposed to fight it, it's a very quick boss fight. Like, if you use the fan or the scissors, it's very quick. So. But, I mean, it is the first boss level. I'll leave it in meh for now. We'll see if that changes. Alright. World 2. Dry Baked Desert. I can immediately tell you this is probably going to go in meh. Question is where. I'll put it here. See, the thing is, I've never particularly been a fan of the desert world in Mario games. Like, just to be completely honest, I'm not really a fan of the typical desert world. And this level is like, opening the door at the beginning is cool. You have the second Rescue Toad mission, which is okay. Um, the rest of the level is not particularly fun. Like, especially the bit where you're moving up through the sand, like you're moving up the slope with the sands going down, you're trying to avoid the pokies. Not particularly fun. Um, I mean, there's the soda. I mean, there is the tablet piece. You know, you sink through the sand and find the tablet piece, and then there's the pyramid at the end. Actually, I think I'm gonna move it up to solid because that pyramid bit is like kind of fun and interesting. Plus, there is an HP up part. Yeah, I'll move it up. I'll put it at the end of solid because I feel like it's got a couple things going for it, but it's not like, I mean, it is still a desert level. Um, yeah, I'll leave it there for now. We'll see if that changes. Yoshi Sphinx, personal favorite, and I don't think I need to really explain why, but I will anyway. It's a Yoshi Sphinx. How cool is that? Like, it's a Sphinx, but it's got a Yoshi head. Like, that's awesome. Like, it's one of the least linear levels in the game because it's basically like one giant room. Like, you take the pipe at the beginning, and it's like you're just combing over every inch of this giant ancient Sphinx. And it's awesome. The design is awesome. The stickers you pick up are awesome. The Kamek boss fight is okay. Like, it's, at least it has a unique mechanic in it, right? There's a tablet piece inside the Yoshi. I always thought that the hammering like the eyes out to make it down the nose down to where the boss fight is was interesting. Um, you have the mariachi band like on that little platform. Like, I feel like this level is just like one of the most like actually unique and like, you know, you look back on it and you're like, you have the paratroopa mini boss. Like, I feel like this level's got, it's got charm to it. I think that's the best way to say it. It's got charm. It's a level I look forward to playing. You know, whenever I play Sticker Star, it's a level I look forward to playing. It takes a while, but you know, first of all, there's key stuff in it. There's an HP up part in it. There's the tablet piece in it. There's the light bulb in it. There's a Kamek fight in it. There's a mini boss in it. You know, stuff like that. I think is the Mega Flash hammer in this level? I could be totally wrong. There is a Mega Flash sticker in this level too. Um, but yeah, I love the Yoshi Sphinx. I think it's really awesome. In contrast, Sandshifter Ruins is one of these two. I don't know which one. I'm going to put it in Burn It for now. You follow up one of the levels I look forward to playing the most to one of the levels I look forward to playing the least. I hate this level. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I'm just going to keep it exactly how it is. I don't like this level. I know the bat is in it. There's an HP up part in it. There's a jackhammer in it. The magnifying glass. You know, there's a lot of things in this level. And there's some neat stuff that you can find. There's some decent stickers. It has multiple exits. Like, the one exit where you're, you know, making your way through the would the correct use be sarcophagi? I don't know. Like, that bit where you're moving up and you have to get the sand to come down. That bit is somewhat interesting. I'll give it that. The rest of the level, you're turning a 2D Mario game, or a 3D Mario game, into a 2D Mario game. And not in a good way. You're just basically moving downward. It almost reminds me of that one mini game in Duck Life, where like you're training your duck and like the screen is slowly scrolling to the bottom and you have to make your way down. It's not exactly the same, but like that's kind of the vibes I get from this. Is like, sure, it's got its moments. Like every level in the game I feel like has at least a moment where it's like okay, but this level's just, it's boring, it's long, it's annoying. You're gonna have, sometimes you have to run through, you take the geyser back up and run through it 2 or 3 times. It's just not fun to play. It's just not. The best way to play it is in a speed run, so you get through it quickly. It's not fun to play. So I'm gonna put it in Burn It because I'm not a fan. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of this level. Damp Oasis is the next one. This is another level that I feel like has a lot of charm. With that being said, it doesn't have a lot of substance. There's 2 rooms in this entire level. the kind of loop that you can do around the oasis and the oasis itself. This is the definition of a filler level. This is, we needed another place to put the third tablet piece. That's what this level is. The vacuum solution to the sandstorm problem isn't super obvious. I mean, there is a plug, but like if there's other items in the game that are electronic. So I don't know. I mean, at this point, you may not have even been to Surfside Harbor yet, so you might not even know where to get something for this. The little Easter egg about where to find the first tablet piece in Dry Bake Desert is cute, I guess. The Oasis bit itself is actually pretty neat. You get the shaved ice, you get the cool Toad who's just kind of vibing out on his little floaty, and of course you have the tablet piece. It's hard to rank because while I do like it, I do like the vibe, I do like how it's got a lot of charm to it. It's very short and there's not a lot to it. So I don't think I can rank it any higher than meh. I'll put it at the top of meh, but I don't think I can rank it any higher than meh because, again, also I think I'm going to move Dry Bake Desert down to meh from solid. It just doesn't feel right having a desert level in solid. Alright, 2-5 Dry Bake Stadium. This level, I have mixed feelings about this one. On one hand, it's one of the most unique and interesting levels in the game. On the other hand, it can take a really, really long time. I mean, I suppose that's somewhat valid considering it is a boss level, right? But I feel like some parts of it can be confusing, like especially with the murals on the walls. Like I always have to look up what sticker goes where on the elevator because the murals on the walls are confusing to me. I never really understood them. The mural Goombas and Koopas are actually a really neat detail in this level, where they, after you collect the scrap, they jump out of the wall. That's really cool. And you could tell it was really cool and it was a good gameplay feature because it never showed up ever again in the rest of the game or anything else like it. That was really freaking cool. The artwork comes to life and tries to kill you. That's awesome. That's a great feature. And you never see anything like it again for the rest of the game. The other enemies inside of Dry Bake Stadium, nothing to write home about. Spikes, sombrero guys, buzzy beetles. Like, some of the most bland and uninteresting enemies, in my opinion, in the game. More annoying than anything else because of their outside of battle attacks with throwing the spike balls and the buzzy beetles kind of rushing at you. With that being said, it is a pretty interesting level. Luigi makes an appearance. I forgot about that with Goomba Fortress, but yeah, Luigi's in there too. The boss fight is kind of underwhelming. Like, you use the bat and it's over, pretty much. It's like, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a running theme with a lot of the boss fights in this game is, there's like a gimmick and you use the gimmick and the fight's pretty much over. I don't know. I mean, the first part of the fight can be interesting before you use the bat, because there's some strategy to it. He's using different moves as he's coming up out of the ground, and he's summoning other things, or he's trying to fall on you, or doing something else. I don't think I can put this in banger. I'll put it in solid. I think it's earned a solid, but I don't think I can put it in banger because it's long. It can be kind of annoying and confusing at times. And the boss fight is like okay at best. So I don't think I could put it any higher than solid. Alright, that's the first two worlds. There seems to be a large distribution in the middle of the chart here. Am I okay with where I've put everything so far? I just want to take a quick inventory of like where stuff is so far. Does anything need to move? I might move Wamino Mountain down Because, like, the only thing I think it really has going for it besides the sticker shop is the musical sequence. And then is there anything I'd move up? I don't think so. Yeah, I'll move Wamino Mountain down. And I think I'll keep the rest of it where it is. Alright. World 3. Leaf Litter Path. Probably going to go in meh. It's, you know, we meet Wiggler, which is cool. The rest of the level is nothing to write home about. Like, it's a very linear, very straightforward, left to right level. The Boomerang Bros are mad annoying. I don't think it can go any higher than meh. Like, it's... I wouldn't necessarily call it a bad level, because you meet a cool character in it, and there's some decent stickers, and... you know, I feel like it's okay. I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but it's nothing more than okay, I think, in the long run. So I'll put it in meh. Somewhere in the middle here. Bafflewood. I feel like the concept was okay, but the execution was lacking. Like, a maze in theory is like, okay, there could be a place for that, but you know, you can finish this level if you know which way to go. You can finish this level in like 30 seconds. Like, you can just sprint straight to the end of the level. There is a diary entry opportunity in this level, and this is the level I go to when I need stickers for the museum, because there's like 4 or 5 different paperization blocks that you can just kind of spam until you get the sticker you need. So I'll give it credit for that. When you're grinding for 100%, this level is very useful because of the paperization opportunities it gives you. There are multiple pathways to go. You do end up fighting a Wiggler segment in this level, in like the right-hand path that leads you to the bowling ball. So again, like a lot of other levels, it's got some stuff going for it. Again, I don't think I can rank it any higher than meh. Moving on to Wiggler's Treehouse. This one I can't be too harsh on. I can't be like, oh, it's not a level, there's no enemies to fight. Because it's not meant to be. It's the hub world of World 3. You know, it's your kind of... it's your Decalburger of World 3, pretty much. Where you keep returning to, you know, 3 different exits. It's interesting. There's some neat stuff in there. There's an HP up part. There's the boombox. There's the high heel. There's the diary. There's the elevator. That's a cute little thing. I'm going to put Wiggler's Treehouse in solid, because that's where you spend a lot of the time with Wiggler in this game, and Wiggler's a cool character, and I like him. So I'll put it in solid, because it's cute. It's a cute level. I appreciate it. Strike Lake. I feel like it's very similar to 3-1. It has a lot of the same problems that 3-1 has. It's extremely linear. It's not particularly interesting. It does not stand out in any way. In fact, I would say it stands out even less than 3-1 does, because at least 3-1 has some changes of elevation. It has that bit where you're on the rolling log in the poison, which can be kind of cool. 3-4's got none of that. It is like one flat, straight road from start to end. The only thing this level has going for it is the secret exit. And you might be like, oh, you know, there's another comic piece. You know, it's a unique way of getting there. You know, using the thing sticker. You know, there's the whole cutscene sequence, and that's really, really cool. I am going to harp on this level hard because of solely one detail. The detail that if you have a Wiggler segment with you when you use the bowling ball, it gets in the way. And you have to go make it a sticker again, get rid of the Wiggler segment somehow, and then come back and do it. For that detail alone, it's not going any higher than meh. I might even put it in bad. It might be the first one that goes into bad. Despite that really cool bowling sequence, I think it's going to go in bad. I'm not quite going to put it in burn it because it's not annoying to play. It's just not memorable or noteworthy in any way besides the bowling bit. And the bowling bit can be ruined if you have a segment with you. So it's going in bad. Loop Loop River. It's a unique level, I'll give it that. It's definitely unique. And despite the fact that it doesn't have that many rooms or areas to go into, it still takes forever to get through. It's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of being patient. It's a lot of... What am I looking for here? It's one that you get through it and you're like, oh, thank goodness that's over kind of level. I don't think it's necessarily a... It's not a Sandshifter Ruins type level where it's like, oh, I'm so glad I got through that. Like, you make story progress, you get a comet piece, you have your first Wiggler segment fight, you pick up a scrap that can be used at Wiggler's treehouse. It's just kind of boring. It's a bit of a long, grindy kind of level. And there's multiple comet pieces, so you have to go back in after you beat it the first time. And I just don't think it's that fun. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to put it in bad, because I feel like, again, it is somewhat unique in the fact that it's kind of cyclical, and there is a Wiggler segment boss fight in it. You get the first of the tree stump scraps in here as well. It's going to go at the tail end of meh, but like barely above bad. It may end up in bad by the end, to be honest. Outlook point, it's Decalburg from Wish.com. That's the best way to describe this level. Is it's Decalburg, but like not quite. There's a Sling-A-Thing, there's a shop, there's a diary entry opportunity, there's a secret door with the fish hook in it, which you need for later on. Again, same as like with Wiggler's Treehouse, it's kind of hard to grade because it's like, it's a shop. That's the level, right? It's a shop and it gives you the fish hook, and that's about all its purpose is besides the diary entry. It's the only place in the game you can buy secret doors. Same with like tails and frog suits and super boots. So it's got that going for it. It is a shop that you know, if you want 100% the game, you're probably going to find yourself at that shop. I know when I'm going for museum completion, I'm going back there and buying a bunch of tails and stuff, and then I'm going to the Bafflewood and I'm putting them all in and vaporizing them and, you know, cycling through that till I get what I need. There's not a ton to make it stand out from like a Decalburg. I mean, the scenery is nice. I think I actually prefer the scenery of this level to Decalburg. Just because it's, you know, it's unique. It's at the edge of the forest. It's a contrast from all the nasty purple crap you've been seeing throughout World 3. It does have the fish hook. The Sling-A-Thing guy is extremely enthusiastic that you're there, which is actually really cute. You do have the really cool toad who tells you like the story of the forest as well. So I think that's enough to put it in solid. It again, it's a kind of another level that does its job and not much more. But it's got some cute, unique, quirky characters in it. And it's got some stuff that like makes it like, all right, you know, this is a key level you have to return to. Russellboro. This is one of the levels I look forward to playing, or at least I used to look forward to playing the least in the entire playthrough. It's not as bad as I used to think it was. If you asked me to make this list when I like first beat the game, this was going in burn it, 100%. Now, the mechanics themselves are interesting. It's an annoying level because you don't have your full moveset. But the mechanics themselves are pretty interesting. You lose everything. Can you manage without your hammer, without Kirsty, without the battle spinner? It's an interesting idea. You know, it's an interesting wrench that's thrown into things that kind of makes you adapt and be like, okay, you know, what stickers did I have on me? Can I make this work and get things back with what I have? It's an annoying level to prepare for. I know it's a level I end up preparing for. You know, I'm buying POWs, I'm buying fire flowers so I can break the web of the big buzzy beetle so I can get past it. And it's definitely excuse me. It's definitely still annoying to play, but it has an interesting concept to it. In fact, I might even put it in solid. I think the concept is that good. I think I'm going to put it in solid because it's a unique way to play the game when you don't have your normal moveset and you're forced to adapt. The enemies are very uninteresting and uninspired. That's the only thing that I'll say, and or about the enemies at least. And Kirsty's really just not nice to you in this level at all whatsoever. I might move it down to meh. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'll put it in meh. It's like there's definitely some annoying bits to it, but I think it's still an okay concept overall. All right. Tree Ranch Trail. To me, this level just blends in with all the others. I feel like there's not a whole lot to make this level stand out. I mean, the only things I can think of that would make this level stand out, there's a scrap in it, there's a Wiggler segment fight in it, there's the poison hot tub diary entry. I think there's also an HP upgrade in it somewhere. But this level, I honestly, and it's also not really that long. It's a really short level for the most part. It's going in bed. I think it still goes above Strike Lake, but it's going in bed. It's just not, it's not interesting. Nothing in this level is interesting. It's just like, oh, we gotta find the Wiggler segment. Oh, we found the Wiggler segment. All right, let's move on to the next one. There's nothing interesting in this level. So I can't rank it any higher than bad because it's just not that interesting. Gauntlet Pond, I feel like has similar problems to Russell Burrow. Not in that they're similar levels, but in that it takes a while and it's annoying. Or I guess you could maybe say Dry Big Stadium in that regard. You don't see another level like it where you have the swinging platforms and, you know, the kind of parkour aspect. It's another one that I feel like is just kind of a drag. You know, it's not... You don't really, at least from my experience, I don't really enjoy playing it. Like, it's unique enough, I guess, and somewhat interesting. But, like... It has Loop Loop River problems, where it's like, you get through it and you're like, okay, this one's over. You know? So I think I'm going to put it right next to Loop Loop River, in that it's at the tail end of meh, and I can't rank it any higher than that. Stump Glade. Personal favorite. It feels like there's a dichotomy in these levels where it'll go from a level that's like very mediocre or worse to like a really awesome level. Stump Glade is awesome. It's one of, if not the most unique level in the game because it's literally just a game show with 3 different levels and the bonus round, the HP up part, the diary entry possibility, the HP up part after you clear the forest. Of course, there's other levels that have HP up parts after you clear the forest. But this one's going personal favorite. I've always loved Snifter with it. I mean, ever since I was really young and I first got to this point in the game. I love this level. I really do. This level's really cute. I love it. So it's got to go in personal favorite. It's up there for me. It's really really good. 3-11, Holy Thicket. It has Loop Loop River, Gauntlet Pond, Tree Branch Trail Syndrome in that it is like completely unmemorable. I feel like it has like half the levels in World 3 have the same problem. They're all incredibly linear, and there's just nothing to make them stand out whatsoever. Like, I don't know how else to put it. They're just like, they're all so linear, and there's nothing distinguishing them. It's like, I used to really like World 3 and be like, oh, World 3's so great. I think it was because of the story and, you know, trying to put Wiggler back together and get to the island and beat the Gooper Blooper. But I look back on these levels and I'm like, there's nothing distinguishing them. There's nothing interesting about them. They're so boring. They're so linear and so boring. And you gotta play it twice, too, because there's 2 comic pieces, and it's like, ugh. It's going in bad. It's going in bad. I won't put it in Burn It, but all these World 3 levels are blending together. I think I'm going to move... No, purely because of the interesting gameplay mechanics, I'm going to leave these 2 up here. But that's the only thing keeping them out of bad right now, is the fact that Loop Loop River has the river aspect and Gauntlet Pond has the kind of parkouring from platform to platform. That's the only thing keeping them out of bad right now. Whitecap Beach. Okay. Whitecap Beach. The first part is... There's a lot packed onto that initial island. You've got a Luigi sighting. You've got a segment battle. You've got the pocket watch thing. The actual, like, level itself before the boss is like... You know what? I'm putting it in banger. I'm putting it in banger, and I'll tell you why. It's a change of pace. It's a change of pace from the other 11 levels you've just played. That are all dark and gloomy and just purple and green is all you see. You see the sky, you know, you see the water. You know, you see new enemies. You see Cheep Cheeps for the first time. You know, you've put Wiggler back together and you're going off to this, you know, this island. And, you know, there's this kind of feeling of excitement because, you know, you're about to go and stop the poison and everything. And I'm almost debating putting it in personal favorite because of the Gooper Blooper boss theme. Because that is one of the best songs in the entire soundtrack. I'll leave it in banger for now. Because I feel like the level itself is somewhat short and uninteresting. Although the Gooper Blooper, like, slapping the tentacles is a nice addition. I'll leave it in banger for now. It could move up. Because that boss theme is an absolute banger. But I'll leave it there for now. Alright, so that's through World 3. If there's anything I'm seeing from this chart, World 3 kind of stinks. It's like mediocre or worse, except for a couple of levels. Which, yeah, I think that's fair. World 3 just blends together into one big, like, bleh, until you get through it and you're like, oh, thank goodness that's over. Yeah, no rose-tinted glasses on that one. So, moving on to Surfshine Harbor. Surfshine Harbor is difficult to rank. It has some cool elements to it. The light bulb, the big Cheep Cheep battle, the ability to use the ship, the vacuum, the HPL part. But I feel like it also has Decalburg's problem of it's fairly small. It's fairly small, and there's not a ton of characters. Like, you got the captain, a couple of toads. That's it, right? I'll put it in solid. I'll put it up with Decalburg because of its story significance and the big Cheep Cheep fight. But I can't put it any higher than that because again, I feel like it has the same problems Decalburg has. Is it's too small. It doesn't have a ton of character to it. Like, it's cool, you know. It's like, oh look, we're by the water and stuff like that. But also, they never tell you need the scissors. You just have to figure that out yourself. So that's another thing bringing it down. But yeah, we'll put it there. All right. Now we get to my and probably a lot of people's favorite world in the whole game, World 4. The moment you hear like the first note of the World 4 like main like theme music, you just something in your soul is just like, yeah, it's so like not linear. It's not linear. You're moving up and down and around and grabbing this scrap and going here and fighting this guy and collecting this and oh, it's so not linear. It's so nice. It's so nice. It's nice. It's going in banger. It's going in banger because it's a refresh after the friggin' dull fever dream that was World 3. The whole goat cutscene and everything with Birdo and oh, it's such a nice refresh after World 3. It really is, and the music is beautiful. It's a great place to grind excellence, by the way, if you're going for 100%. What I do, right, this will make you a ton of coins, won't cost you anything. If you're trying to grind excellent attacks for 100%, enter the level, grab the shiny ice flower at the beginning, attack the first Goomba, do your timing on the attacks to just wipe them out, get the coin bonus, leave, come back in, repeat as long as you need to. That's how I grinded 100% in my series that I did on the channel. That's how I grinded for 100%. Is I just did that over and over and over and over again. It takes a while, but it's efficient. And the music is just so nice, and there's unique enemies like the snow spikes that roll the balls down the hills, and they have the Goombas on top of them, and the enemies are shiny and they're more powerful now, and it's such a nice change of pace. And the Cooligans, and it's such a nice change of pace, man. It's got to go in banger. In fact, I might put it above Whitecap Beach just because the actual level itself I feel like is way better than Whitecap Beach, but it's good. It's really, really good, especially where it's placed in the overall story, too. It's like right after you finish World 3, and you're like, oh, thank goodness that's over. You get such a nice refresh with 4-1. So I think it's got to go in banger. Ice Flow. A very unique level with the kind of, not vertical, I guess northward motion for a lot of this level. Instead of side-to-side motion, it's northward. The Cooligans are mad annoying. I just have to say that and get that out of the way. The Cooligans are annoying as frick. That's the only... And the Ice Bro, too. The Ice Bros, as well, are mad annoying. But everything else in this level is cool. Curling Stone, you can get the Cato Luck in this level. There's an HP up heart. There's the hair dryer in the secret door, if I remember correctly. You can actually collect the secret door sticker in this level. I don't think you can do that anywhere else in the game. That's pretty cool. Again, you have some awesome music. The ice can be a little bit annoying to navigate. The level can be a little bit slow and annoying with the ice and everything. But I think I still got to put it in banger. Because again, it's still got the awesome ice theme. The stickers in it are pretty solid. There's an HP up heart. It's unique. You can get a secret door in the level, which is neat. So I think it's also going to go in banger, although it is a little bit annoying, so it'll stay at the bottom. Enig Mansion. Personal favorite, absolutely no question. I gotta figure out where to rank the... I think it's going at the top, to be completely honest with you. I think this is the ordering of personal favorite. Yeah, Enigma Mansion is one of the best levels in the entire game, and I will die on that hill. um, it is just such a cool idea for a level. You walk into a haunted mansion, you got to trap all the boos, and there's so many great things in it, and there's so many great themes in it. There's the one disco room, and you got the big, like the 82 or 84 or whatever, the big stack of booze. They introduce the Infinijump. They give you the shortcut back to Decalberg. There's the one boo that's outside, behind the fire, which, not gonna lie, if you don't know it's there, it's a little annoying to find him. But once you do, it's great. There's so many different rooms in it. Paperizing and switching the two walls is cool, although you'd never freaking figure that out by yourself. At least I didn't. I used a guidebook or like looked up a walkthrough to figure that out when I played it for the first time. But no, it's one of, if not my absolute favorite level in the entire game. It is so great, and I love it. Um, and then you get to the end, and Kamek's behind it, and then you fight the Big Boo. The Big Boo fight, admittedly, is a little underwhelming. It can be beaten very, very easily. But, and then you end up talking to the owner of the mansion, and then you end up coming back later for the HP up part, and you get the photo of the, I don't know what the official character title was, but that guy. The guy who runs the lift. Um, so no, great, great level. Okay, moving on. Shaved Ice Cave. This one is especially hard to rank because it is one room, it's a shop, and that's all it is. Um, the Toad frozen in ice is adorable. Um, the stickers for sale are pretty good. Um, I really don't have a ton else to say about it, to be completely honest. It's I mean, it is still a shop at the end of the day, right? It's still a shop. Um, I don't know if I could put it in solid just because there's like no character to it at all. I'll put it in meh. Not anywhere particular in meh, but I'll throw it in meh. All right, because it's just like there's nothing to it. There's not enough to really rank it, so I'll put it just kind of in the middle. 4-5 Whiteout Valley. This is another level that has very interesting mechanics that you never see anywhere else in the game. You see fuzzies, the only level you ever see fuzzies in. You're dodging the ice bros. You're picking up coins and health and stuff along the way. There's a Luigi sighting in this level. It doesn't go on for as long as I used to think it did. It's a good level. It's a good level. Not a personal favorite of mine, but it's unique and it's interesting. It's a cute little. I don't want to say auto level because it's not exactly an auto level, but well, no, it is. It is pretty much an auto level once you get on the lift. Um, but it's got some unique gameplay elements to it. There's some skill involved, and it's cool. So I'll put it low end of banger because I think it's a cute little level. Bowser's Snow Fort. This might have to go in personal favorite because this level just there's so much depth to it. You have the beginning part where you end up like cutting the Shy Guys in line and like saving the Toad, and you can get the secret door to get in quickly, and the cart ride itself can be annoying. That's one thing I will say is like if you don't time your jumps, if you're bad at timing your jumps, this level can be annoying. But I think it still can be very entertaining. I don't, I think I am going to put it in personal favorite because the boss fight is also pretty cool. The boss theme's also sick. So, yeah, I'll put it up there. It is a good level. The boss fight is great. The music in the level overall is good. It can be annoying at times, but if you get over that, I think it's still a very, very, very good level. Alright, moving on to World 5. You can see we didn't rank a single level in World 4 below meh, and the only World 4 level we put in meh was the shop. Everything else was banger or above, so yeah. Alright, moving on. Shy Guy Jungle. Definitely not linear, and I can respect that. With that being said, it can be a little bit annoying. I think I'm going to put it in solid, because it's a solid level. It is a solid level. You know, you have a branching left path and right path. It can be annoying when the spear guys have aimbot and they can hit you from pretty much anywhere no matter what you do. There's some interesting like cutscenes and stuff in this level which I can appreciate. It can be a little bit annoying at times though, you know, when trying to cross the plants in time and dodge the spear guys, and some of those dudes really do have aimbot though. I'm telling you, bro, they hit you no matter what you do. Them and the ice bros. It's crazy. So I'll put it in solid because I think it's a fairly decent level. Jungle Rapids, on the other hand, boring. I'm going to put it in bad. It's boring. You're on a raft for the entire level. And I mean, I suppose you could make the same argument for 4-5, right? If you're just kind of stuck there the whole time, right? Except this time I feel like the music's like, I mean, it's good. I mean, it is a track you've heard before at this point. It's annoying to try and get the bonefish off of your raft. You know, dodging the... You know, the more I think about it, the more I realize how alike this is to Whiteout Valley in terms of, like, it is kind of an auto level. I mean, there is some skill involved in, like, moving around the rocks and stuff. I feel like this level is more stressful than it's worth. Like, you know, dodging stuff and getting around bends and getting all the bonefish off and stuff. You do rescue a toad in this level. I think I'll move it up to meh. Like, low meh. It's, like, it's unique. And there is some actual skill and gameplay involved, which I can appreciate, but it's not great. It's fairly boring. And I think I'm going to move Whiteout Valley down to, I don't know, where do I want to, I'll put it in solid. Because, like, it is somewhat unique. There is some skill involved. Yeah. Alright. Longfall Falls. Burn it. I hate this level. I absolutely hate it. This big fish is in my nightmares. I freaking despise this level. I absolutely hate it. Yeah, it's just for those of you who don't know this level, basically there's a giant fish that chases you the entire level. You have to constantly dodge its attacks. It either charges straight forward or like jumps up in the air and dives down on you, but then it can jump back up out of the water and dive down again. And you have to play it twice. Because there's 2 comet pieces. And every time you beat it, it gets harder. The fish gets more and more difficult to dodge every time you beat the level. So you beat it once, you get 1 comet piece, and then you got to beat it again. And then after that, if you use like either of the good stickers you end up getting from this level, and you want to go back and get those stickers again, you got to beat it again, and now it's even harder. So it's like, it's frustrating. It can be very frustrating to play. Which is why I'm putting it in Burn It, because it just seem like an endless cycle of futility, and then you have to go back to it again. You know. All right, moving on. Chomp Ruins. Chomp Ruins is okay. I mean, the spinning blades are a new thing. The chain chomp raging at the end is like kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it falls into a similar vein of Shy Guy Jungle, where it's like, okay. In fact, I think I'm going to put both of these in meh. Because they're like alright, but not much more than that. 5-5, Rugged Road. Can be very annoying. If you miss your jumps, if you stay in place too long, get hit by the meteors, this can be a very annoying level. I don't know. I really don't know where to rank this one. I'll probably put it in meh again, because like it has its moments, but I feel like it's not super memorable. I'll probably put it in meh. Rumble Volcano, on the other hand, I'm going to put in solid. It's got unique gameplay features. Weighing down the lift. There's a shop in there. The boss fight with P Piranha is unique in that there's like not one specific type of sticker that like takes down the boss more quickly than anything else. Which like for the first 4 bosses, there was a gimmick sticker. Like for the Mega Sparkle Goomba, it's the fan to the scissors. For the Pokey, it's the bat. For the Gooper Blooper, it's the sponge. For the Bowser Snow statue, it's anything fire related, right? Whereas this one, PD doesn't have a direct weakness. You just knock him over and then you clobber him. That's kind of how it goes, right? So, yeah. That's really all I have to say about it. Like, it's a fine enough level. Decent length. Can be a little bit lengthy and annoying at times, but decent enough for a boss level. I think it fits the bill. I mean, there's that one platforming bit that's like, okay. I think low solid is a fair spot for it. Gate Cliff. Gate Cliff is bad. Just because it's a level with no level. I mean, I suppose you could also make that argument. I guess we could put Shaved Ice Cave down in bad as well. Just because, like, I'm okay doing that because it's levels where there's no level. Like, if you're gonna make there be a shop, then just put a shop in the level like you did with Rumble Volcano, Like, don't have it just be a shop and nothing else. Or, like, signify somewhere, make a side level that's, like, just a shop or something. But don't make a full level a shop. Like, I don't know, man. It's just... I mean, I guess you could make the same argument with, like, Outlook Point, where, like, the whole level's kind of a shop. I feel like Outlook Point has more character, though. Whatever, I'll move it down to meh. I don't think you could put just a shop in solid. It's like, oh wow, look, we have to fight Bowser. Like that's not what we were trying to do from the very beginning of the game. Like, gee, thanks, Kirsty, you're so useful. Like it's a level where there's no level. I don't know, not a fan. Not a fan of Gate Cliff. I mean it's an okay story level, I guess, for the little story there is in this game. But it's just like it's a level without level. So, yeah. Bowser Jr.'s Flotilla is actually a pretty okay level. There's some definitely unique parts of it, like turning the bullet cannon around and putting a hole in the ship, and the fact that the boxes move in the last part, like the ship is kind of, there's turbulence going on, it's shifting around in the air. That's cool. I like that. The room with like all of the different bros in it is pretty cool, or the fight where you fight like one of each bro. That's cool. The only level in the game where you can get a wrench or a barrel sticker. It's the final secret door in the game to get the Mega Flash jump. The Bowser Jr. fight is unique. I'm between solid and banger on this one. I'll put it in banger because I think it's an interesting It's an interesting level. It's an interesting level. I do enjoy playing it. You know, the music is very good. There's some, good gameplay stuff in it. Um, I just wish Bowser Jr. had more to him in this game. Because I think of, like, this is the last time you see Bowser Jr., and it's like, okay, you fought him 3 times, and that's all you've done with him. We haven't had any cutaways to Bowser Jr. where he's like, oh, because like after you beat him in the middle of, where you're at that kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like the point that's not a level between worlds 4, 5, and 6, and you beat him, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go tell my dad on you. Like, could we have had a cutaway or something, like a story bit that's like, him being like, Dad, Mario beat me up or something, and then Bowser's getting all upset and like something happens. I don't know. It's just like I see places where this game could have been better. That's all. But no, still a good stage. The final Bowser Jr. fight is solid. I think he was done. I think both him and Bowser were done dirty in this game in terms of character, in terms of how much they were used. I think 3 Bowser Jr. fights is fine. I just want more character arc from him. Like, Kamek got more screen time than Bowser Jr. did, So it's like, you see, you fight Kamek 3 times in the game, but then there's also, you see him in the Enix Mansion, right? And of course, you also see the flashback to where he's behind the scenes and he's separated Wiggler and everything. Kamek gets more screen time than Bowser Jr. does, so, I just wish that he got a bit more in terms of story in this game. Bowser's Sky Castle. I know it's a final boss level. I know it is, and the main emphasis of the level is on the final boss. But in terms of a level, this level stinks. Because you start with the Kamek fight, you run across some carpet, and bang, Bowser. There's no level. Like, if you look at other Mario games, even Mario games that aren't particularly great or aren't rated super well, if there's a final boss, there's a level with the final boss. There's no level here. All you gotta do is not fall onto the spikes. Beat Kamek, don't fall on the spikes, then you're at Bowser. It's just a little bit I don't know, underwhelming? Maybe that's the right word. Give me a cool level that ends with, a save block, and then you're like, oh, we're about to fight the final boss. Almost like, the Driving Stadium does, where it's there's this long, drawn-out level with some unique features and characteristics in it, and then they give you a save block and a heal block to tell you you're about to fight the boss, and they bring you up to, the baseball stadium thing, which is really cool, by the way. Why couldn't we have something like that for the final boss? We couldn't have a cool level beforehand, like we did with Dry Stadium or Bowser's Snow Fort, where we had an actual cool level that wasn't just boss, I mean, every other level in the game that's a boss level had some kind of actual level before it. I mean, the worst of them in terms of actual level design, I would say, is Whitecap Beach, because there's the least level out of any of the boss levels. Even that is somewhat interesting, has some unique mechanics in it. You don't get any of that with Bowser's Sky Castle. It's just boss fight, you can't even call the rest of it a level, and then another boss fight. Also, the Kamek boss fight is so annoying because when the clones fly out of range and you can't do anything and you're wasting a turn, you have to hit a triple on the battle spinner, and it's you could be sitting there for 15 minutes. It's really, really, really annoying. And then the actual Bowser fight, it's got some unique elements to it. I gotta give it that. I mean, the Womp, the problem with the unique elements is once you know how to counter them, that factor is gone. Right? Once you know how to counter them, it's not unique or special anymore. It's just alright, I gotta bring this sticker to counter this part. If you're playing it for the first time, though, yeah, it's pretty cool. Um, at least I'll say for the second and third parts of the fight, I think it's pretty neat. The Womp is cool. The fireballs are cool. The initial bit with like the enemy spawning things, I could do without it. In fact, I think it would be better to start the fight if it's just you and Bowser fighting. And then the chain chomp bit at the end, not really too big of a fan of that, if I'm completely honest. Because either the chain chomp walks up to you and you hit it back at him, or he throws it at you, which is a lot harder to predict. Um, Not a massive fan of that. Or at least they could have animated it to look a little bit more like he gets hit by the thwomp or by the chain chomp and actually falls instead of just, oh, you hit it back at him and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's over here, he's off the edge. Like, they could have animated it a little bit better or, like, done something. And then you've obviously got the big part where Kirsty's like, oh, I need to die, it's the only way. And it's like, oh, she finally shut up. No, but, the final Bowser fight is... eh. The music is good. I gotta give it that. The music's great. You can say that for the whole game. The soundtrack's freaking awesome. Um, but it's... Uh, I don't know. It's just kind of... I mean, if you have Infinijumps, it's incredibly boring. Jump on one hand, jump on the other hand, jump on his head. Congratulations, you win. Um, I mean, it's cool that, you know, they made him, like, massive and, like, it's great, but I feel like they didn't do enough with it, you know? They didn't do enough with him being massive and all powerful, like, you know, like, almost like in, you know, original Paper Mario where he's got the star rod and, you know, you can't harm him or something like that. I know that's how they meant for it to be, like, before Kirsty sacrifices herself, right? You know, you can't really do a lot of damage to him, and that's intentional. Um, but that I feel like that doesn't last long enough. Like that lasts like 2 or 3 turns, and then Kirsty's like, "You have to sacrifice me," and it's like, I really don't. I really don't. Um, you know, it's like, just give me a couple Infinijumps, I'll be done eventually. um, so the level as a whole, honestly, kind of mediocre. I can't even lie. I feel like it's somewhat mediocre as a level. Um, I feel like the boss battle is kind of underwhelming. Both boss battles are underwhelming, and there's not enough level. So you know what? I think I'm gonna put it in meh. I'm gonna put the final boss in meh because other than the music, I feel like it doesn't have a lot going for it. All right, I have been recording for an hour and 18 minutes, and we have finally initially ranked all of the levels. Okay, let's see if there's anything I want to change about this. I think my personal favorite is going to stay the same. Banger, everything that's there can stay. Solid. I might move Decalburg and Surfside Harbor down. Yeah, I think I will. There's not enough content in them. My meh, this is probably where a lot of the movement's going to happen if there's going to be movement. Yeah, the music's great in the final boss, but, like, that's kind of, like, all it's got going for it, you know? Um, I might move Loop Loop River down. Yeah. Move this one to the end. None of these are going to be in any particular order, except maybe the end bits. I mean, Leaf Litter Path is... Wiggler saves that level, I'm going to be completely honest. If we don't encounter Wiggler in this level stinks. It's not particularly good. I mean, there's a couple okay bits in it, which is why it's staying in meh, but like... Yeah, you could see like a lot of World 3 is not good. Is there anything else I'd want to put in Burn It? Yeah, no, I think I'm happy with this list. I think I'm happy with this list, to be completely honest with you. Again, meh isn't really in any kind of particular order except for maybe Jungle Rapids. I don't know. Yeah, I'm done. This is my complete Paper Mario Sticker Star level tier list. You can see a large percentage of the game's levels ended up in meh. So, looking as this is a game that I've played a ton in my life. Like I said, I've beaten it probably about 15 times. There are 8 levels that I would consider a banger or higher in the entire game. It just seems a little... Actually, I think I'm going to move Ice Flow down. Yeah, I'm going to move Ice Flow down. Is there anything I'd want to move up? Yeah, the more I look at these levels, the more I'm like, yeah, this game is not as good as I remember. Yeah. Alright, I'm done messing with stuff. That is my final tier list right there. Only took me an hour and 23 minutes. Alright. That's it. I think there's what? Isn't there like 36? Let me count them. 1, 2, 8. That's 18 plus 8 is 26. 30. Wait. Hold up. I need to math real quick. Yeah, 8. That's 7. It's 15. And 11 is 26. 30. Is that 40? 40 total? Do I not count Decalberg and just because like whenever I used to play the game, I would count like the 30 whatever. Oh, I think it was the number of comet pieces I counted. Maybe? I don't know. I could be totally lying. Anyway, if my math is correct here, I'm sorry, I'm counting one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Yep. Out of the 40 levels in the game, this is how I would rank them. The tiers are not really in any particular order. So I would have 4 levels I would consider like personal favorites of mine. in the game, or like super ultra bangers that I really look forward to playing. Bangers, I look forward to playing significantly. Solid are levels that are coming up, or like, I see them and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a nice level. I wouldn't mind playing that. Might move Whiteout Valley back up. Meh is like kind of levels I'm indifferent about. Um, Bad is levels that are like, I'm not looking forward to playing this level. And then there's some in Meh that I don't look forward to playing, but due to some gimmick or some mechanic or some character in the level, it's like, okay. And then Burn It are just levels that I absolutely loathe and dread. So there we go. That's my list. Um, Feel free to let me know if you agree, disagree, if there's any changes you would make. Um, Feel free to let me know. Um, and yeah, let me know if you want to see more long form content like this. There's probably not going to be a lot of editing in this video, if I'm completely honest. So yeah, just keep that in mind. This is probably going to be long form, not very much editing. Documentary, well, maybe not documentary style, but like, kind of a long form video. So, let me know if you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and always remember, Jesus loves you. Peace.